What?
I'm recording.
Me too.
Fancy.
All right, we got that settled. Hi, Reed.
Hi, Dad.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine.
That's good.
Here we are. It feels like I just saw you.
Yeah, you did just see me.
Yeah, I got to visit.
Yeah.
And now I'm back at my home and you're at your home.
Yeah, so we didn't end up doing the in-person podcast idea, but this is good too.
Yeah, I think this works out pretty well. And then I get to see you just a couple days after seeing you.
Yeah.
So how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. Yeah, just school stuff. How's your week been?
It's been pretty. It was hard to come back because, as you know, I was traveling and had some work to do and then some visits, and then I got back late on Sunday and then had to go to work and school and function on Monday. But otherwise, it's good. It's just, it's harder when you have more to do.
Yeah.
You learn anything in school this week? We're recording on a Tuesday, so there's not a lot of chance to learn.
Well, yeah. I haven't had any classes today because the one class I normally have today, she gave us a mental health day, which was kind of nice.
That's a good thing to have, even if it's not, that counts as learning, I guess.
Yeah,
I think.
That counts. So that's good. And then for my environment sustainability class, I watched a documentary thing as homework about the Colorado River. And this guy grew up having the Colorado River as part of his irrigation system growing up. And then as an adult, he was like, oh, I'm going to follow it. And then by the time he got to Nevada, it was gone. And that was very sad. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just had to watch that on your own. It wasn't in class.
Yeah, it was homework.
Because you know the Colorado River.
Yes.
You don't know you know it, but that's the river right outside of that we crossed to go into Moab.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's the river where they put all the uranium tailings right next to the shore, along the banks of the Colorado River.
That's a horrible idea.
And then someone thought, hey, just like you said, that's a horrible idea. We need to clean that up. And that's why every time you drive into Moab from the north, you see this big operation of them scooping dirt, putting it on trains and trucking it somewhere else.
Oh, well, that's good.
So there's an environmental catastrophe
Yeah, we're learning about hydroelectricity and dams and stuff, and how that source of energy is actually really bad. And yeah,
it's so fascinating because when I was in school, I was in school in Oregon where we had lots of dams on the Columbia River, which is probably your exemplar. And we were taught about how wonderful this was because it's like free energy. All you have to do is be industrial.
It seems like it would be this great thing. And in a way, it kind of that makes sense. It's this giant thing of water and it has all this power and we should just use that to our advantage. But then it's not actually environmentally friendly because it's killing fish and it's drying up all of this water and it's changing landforms and they're causing more harm than good in a lot of ways. And also they're filling the power grid with all of that energy that then wind turbines, then all of that energy has nowhere to go because there's not actually energy, which is
explain that again.
I don't really get it. So if someone knows more about it, they can email us.
That would be a great reason to use our contact page at mouthsounds.org.
Yeah. But there was this thing we were talking about in class where at the same time of year that the wind turbines are getting a lot of energy created, they're going into the power grid at the same time that the dams are also creating a lot of energy, so there's nowhere to go.
Got it.
So that source of reusable energy is not actually able to be used or something like that.
So because they both peak at the same time, we're not getting all that we could out of either.
Yeah.
They're redundant.
Yeah.
Huh. So did they talk at all about draining Lake Powell or like there's this movement to get rid of the dam that makes Lake Powell?
We didn't talk specifically about Lake Powell, but we looked at I'm forgetting the name of it, but like along the Columbia and like how a lot of native lands and stuff are being
There's
like,
the dam at the
ruined.
Dalles. You see these classic photos.
Yeah, we were
of them
looking at the
fishing.
Dalles and like how that land is totally changed, and there used to be like 50 years ago there used to be like it sounded like gunshots with all the salmon or not, I don't know if it's salmon, but all of the fish hitting the water.
Yeah.
Because there were so many, and then now there's like no water there or no fish there, so it's ruined that culture.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We talked about that in the conference I was at just before I visited you, about how so much of indigenous culture in the Pacific Northwest is around salmon. And so it's not just a loss of salmon, which is a big deal, but also a loss of like a whole cultural norm for people that's been a norm for much longer than our descendants have been on the continent.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about like how it's like hydroelectricity is like a good thing, but then like everything humans do, we just did too much of it, and then now it's a big problem.
Right.
So.
Well, this has been an uplifting conversation so far. Well, that's a lot to have learned.
Yeah, what have you learned?
Recently, well, that like I was saying, and you saw me because I was at that conference in Portland, Oregon. I got invited to speak, and I learned that people are having a hard time getting back together in this transitionally pandemic world. Like, it was just awkward to have a whole bunch of people show up, but not all the people who would have usually shown up at this meeting showed up. So it was kind of quiet, and then we were doubly quiet because I think we weren't used to being in the same place in big groups. And it felt awkward. Also, as a bunch of science teachers, so we're naturally awkward anyway in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But then I also learned, besides having to prepare my own thing, which I learned a lot from, I went to some work around, I mean, this is, I guess, the same theme, incidentally, like, went to some work done by some educators around climate science and bringing that into classrooms. And I'd always thought that we should let kids be kids in school and not burden them with having to solve a bunch of problems.
Yeah.
But it turns out that lots of what kids want are like ways to kind of control their own destiny. And that actually helps alleviate a lot of anxiety in students if we actually give them problems around climate science for them to work on.
Yeah.
And I guess I should have thought of you. I should have asked you all along because you're all about this.
Yeah. I don't know what I would have thought, 10 years ago or something, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's still room. I'm grappling with this. I still think a lot of the science that we teach is, unfortunately, like learn this kind of book science or learn this kind of school science that's always been school science that doesn't necessarily draw from a kid's own experience. So I still think we need to draw more from children's experience, and that there's a lot more that we could do with that. And now I'm also seeing that there's potential for kids they're flooded with experiences and knowledge that we've changed the world, and they would want to do something about that.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a new thought for me to put in my head and work on.
It's a good thought. Yeah, it's fun.
So maybe that's why I'm tired.
Probably.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess we've been learning a lot.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
And then I got to come out and visit you. We did some looking for jackets at thrift stores, which we should have known would be impossible to find your size.
Yeah.
Randomly on a rack. And
we tried all of them though. So.
We did try all of them. But that was fun to do that. And then we had dinner with Grandma and Poppy, which was good. And then for the review of the week, we went on a hike on Sunday morning.
Yeah, which was good too.
So the review, I wrote it down, of the week is our hike in the Tillamook Forest. I think that's State Forest in Oregon.
Yeah.
It's the scene of the Tillamook burn, which was, I looked up more information. It's a scene of a massive wildfire in the 1930s and then other massive wildfires that subsequently burned in following years. So I think all of that place that we were walking in the Tillamook Forest was burnt, was all old growth and had all burned decades ago.
It looked great, so that's good.
Yeah, that's the thing about if you don't realize there used to be old growth there, then that second growth looks pretty big.
Yeah.
I gather this was from Wikipedia, so I don't know really what this all was about, but there's some massive reseeding initiative where people would replant trees in this area. So it was, because timber is such a huge industry there, like it's important to have trees for lots of reasons, and I think people wanted the trees to grow back for lots of reasons, and now it's forest that is, as far as I can tell, kind of set aside.
That's good.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's still places where it's being logged, but where we were, it was a nice trail up the Wilson River and the Elk Creek River.
Yeah.
So that was a delightful walk in the woods. What's your assessment of walking in the woods next to mossy banks, large trees, and rivers?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you like about this hike?
There's lots of trees and good little baby waterfalls crossing the trail and cute little mushrooms everywhere. Yeah, it's just nature doing its thing. It was nice.
Yeah. It was a pretty, I'd say, iconic Western Oregon Coast Range kind of hike.
Yeah, except it was sunny, so that was a little weird.
Exactly. It was shockingly sunny for the last day of October.
Yeah.
But still damp, mossy, muddy in places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and water just kind of spilling out of the surprisingly steep hillside down into the creek.
Yeah, it was steeper than I thought it was going to be, but it was good.
You shrug your shoulders. That doesn't come up on audio. That's some good podcast shrugging there. Yeah, it was.
Insert shrug
It
here.
was a continual grade. We gained a couple thousand feet, I think.
Yeah.
And all of that water, I was like, I keep forgetting that that's all like this hard basalt rock, like all that creek bed and all the creeks that we crossed were all these basalt layers. Oh, and then we saw those trees that were, the bank was eroding away underneath them, but they were still anchored.
Yeah. Like there are these trees that, like, off to the side, like above us on the trail, like up the bank from the river, where these just trees were there and the ground had like collapsed over time, but the trees were just hanging out up there with their roots just sticking out. Just very impressive on the tree's part.
And when you say tree, like people might think, oh yeah, it's nice that the dirt had eroded under the tree. But this was like an 80-year-old tree.
Yeah, big Douglas fir thing. Or hemlock, I don't know what it was. Tree.
Yeah. We determined we saw both hemlock and Douglas fir and alder.
Yeah. And more.
And what?
More.
Yeah.
Just other trees.
Many trees.
Many trees were seen.
What was your favorite thing about the hike? That seems like such a cliche question, but it seems like the thing to ask.
I don't know. I liked being able to go on a little stroll out of Bag End with my dad.
Yeah. You said out of Bag End?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it felt like. Like we were leaving the Shire. Except there weren't. Yeah. What's the name of the blind dead spirits?
The ring wraiths?
Yeah. They weren't chasing us.
No, that was nice.
Yeah. But you did point out that those scraped away banks with under the tree roots would have been a good place to hide out.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've seen Lord of the Rings, which probably most people have, that's what the trees looked like where you'd hide from a ring wraith. Just while they sniff for you.
That's good to scout out. Like, okay, so if some dead cursed king on a horseback came riding for me and needed to sniff me out, where would I hide? It's probably the first thing you should look for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good description of the feature I liked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I got to hang out with you, and then it was like Samwise and Frodo, or Han Solo and Chewbacca, but not but not at light speed.
Yeah. Little slower.
I think I also I was telling you this, how that's pretty much exactly the landscape that I grew up in, but we didn't go on hikes like that because we were surrounded by it all the time, and that's just where my dad worked and where we'd go cut firewood or get our Christmas tree or just go for a weekend drive to go check on something in the woods. Mm-hmm. So we didn't go on hikes. Just normal. So there's places like that I just haven't been.
Yeah.
So it's good to get to see those spaces again with, or to get to see them in a new way, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we didn't have to see anybody for the first half of the hike.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't see anyone really until we started coming down.
Yeah.
We saw one person collecting mushrooms, and I think that was it.
Yeah. Kind of, and when we say collecting mushrooms, it's pretty much, I think mushroom collectors are surely wonderful people who you'd want to know, but they're also kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, because we're just sitting there eating cheese and crackers in the middle of the woods, and then we just hear this, we don't really know, but it's something bipedal, and it's just coming from the woods above us, and then slowly this woman is slinking down this slope with a bag and a walking stick. Yeah.
Yeah, and not just a slope, it's a muddy wooded cliff.
Yeah, it wasn't the trail.
She wasn't going fast.
No.
And holding the grocery bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope she likes her mushrooms.
I hope so.
Yeah. And then nice people coming up the trail. All those people were nice, but I was just as happy not to have to run into too many people for a while.
Yeah. There were some nice dogs.
Yeah.
Which was
dogs
good.
are nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are maybe my favorite hikers.
They always seem to have a really good attitude and are just the right combination of cordial in their greeting and then leave you alone.
Yeah. It's perfect. The best kind.
Yeah. No small talk.
No.
No.
They just smile at you, and then you pat their head, and then they leave. It's
right.
great.
This is how more organisms should operate. Just get your head pat, quick greeting. Well, that's all we need.
Move on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think we can say the Elk Creek Trail in Tillamook Forest, it's a worthy place to visit and spend some time.
Yep.
And it's not far from where you live.
No, it's very close.
Yeah. You should get your friends to go with you.
Yeah, I'll talk them into it.
And I said that almost a little bit facetiously, but in all sincerity, you should go and scout out other trails so that you've seen some that you want to can recommend.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do some research or something and figure out some good trails to go on. So.
Yeah. Or just try one. What's the worst that could happen besides getting lost and hurt and stranded and die?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We'll just go.
Yeah, just go.
Good point.
Bring water.
Yeah, that's all you need. Yeah.
Okay. Hiking in the Tillamook Forest. Good idea.
Yep.
Good review. All right. Questions of the week.
Okay. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay. From me to you. What's the best piece of music ever written?
There's a lot of music that's been written.
Yeah. That you can think of off the top of your head at this moment.
Lyrically, I have always been a fan of like Dave Matthews Band stuff. I like Black and Bluebird a lot by him. It's because I like the words in it, and then I think it's kind of a sweet song.
Black and Bluebird by
Yeah.
Dave Matthews.
Yeah. There's a line in that song. I'm pretty sure it's that song. I don't know. It's definitely Dave Matthews, but there's a line in it that's like, from the sidewalk, a dandelion reaches from a crack up to the sky. And I've always really liked that song, that line, because like, yeah, it's just pavement, and then a dandelion just decides to grow, which is cute.
That's quite nice.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a perfectly acceptable, good answer to this question.
Thanks.
Did you want to add something else?
No, I'm good. Did you have something in mind when you asked the question?
No, that's why I asked it.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes I ask that as a conversation starter with students. And every time I do it, someone like, half the people say, "Oh, well, I like lots of kinds of music." Like, no, just answer the question.
Yeah.
Just give us something.
Yeah, like that question. It might change in the next hour.
Right.
But yeah, that's why it's fun.
Yes, and I think your assessment of the best music should change on an hourly or daily or monthly basis. Like that's why I think you can always ask the question.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I'll hold you to it. Black
Okay.
and Bluebird by Dave Matthews is your favorite piece of music ever and will ever be that way forever.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, your turn.
Okay. What is the best cup of coffee or any kind of coffee drink that you've ever had?
So the best coffee I've ever had is surely a cup of coffee after sleeping in a tent and waking up, and even if it's instant coffee, sitting outside, maybe watching the sunrise with a cup of coffee out in the middle of nowhere. That's the best cup of coffee there is. Hands down.
I've never had that kind.
You weren't drinking coffee the last time you went backpacking.
No, well, because I don't drink coffee black usually. So I've never had it camping because I haven't trusted that I would like it.
It's the best cup of coffee you will ever have.
Okay. I will do that next time.
Okay. We now like the instant is like it is not technically objectively as good as a real brewed cup of coffee. But but everything about it makes it the best cup of coffee you'll ever have.
Yeah.
And I've brought like a French press into camping. We've got a French press with a camper. And one of my first backpacking trips, what happened, like, I'm laughing because this could be really disastrous. We remembered coffee grounds, but whoever was responsible for bringing the coffee filters or the press or whatever, they forgot it.
Oh.
And so there's all of this deliberation, like, well, what are we going to do? And so there was at one moment a suggestion where we could just filter it through a sock, and then someone thought better of it. Because you either need to wear that sock or would have already worn that sock, or you don't need sock filtered coffee. So we just made cowboy coffee, which is just grounds in the water, and then you just try to pour it without too many grounds in your coffee, but you always have grounds.
Yeah.
That also is that there might be the very best cup of coffee is cowboy coffee brewed in the mountains of a backcountry backpacking trip.
Okay.
That has all the right elements.
Sounds. Yeah, a little bit of dirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need.
Yeah, dirt, grounds, hot. First thing you do when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I will.
Yeah. So now you have to go backpacking.
Okay.
Okay. It's settled.
Yeah.
And maybe in the Tillamook
Maybe
Forest.
this summer we can have a review on the trail.
Excellent idea. Okay. Let's count on it.
Okay.
Okay. Mailbag. We have mail.
Yay.
So
From people we definitely do not know.
I just came from out of the blue. One person just gave us random assessments of their experience eating Pringles. It seemed to be of little substance. But we were pleased to hear someone respond, and I think they're responding to you just posing the question of suggestion of tell us your favorite Pringles.
Yeah.
And this person did. And that's all we have to say about it. And then someone else suggested that we review something that we disagree on.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's an excellent idea.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Now we have to think of something we disagree on.
Yeah. But also have enough to talk about that would make a good episode.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to mold that over. I mean, there's some things that you like a lot more than I do, or I like a lot more than you do.
Yeah. Like we could talk about like bacon. And you could say that you like bacon. I could say I don't like bacon, and then that'd be it.
Yeah. We could talk about why we like bacon or not like bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably won't last a whole episode. Well, maybe
probably not.
We've talked about less interesting things, probably.
I think they're interesting.
Yeah.
So
I do too. So that's good enough for me. Hey, speaking of things that we've reviewed, so the mailbag's closed, by the way. That's it.
Okay.
Good
stuff.
In our third episode, we reviewed Schitt's Creek.
Yes.
Which I think was one of my favorite episodes, is talking about that show, because there was a lot to talk about. And we agreed that we liked it. But today in a meeting, it was a Zoom meeting, someone whose first name starts with A, she had a necklace that was just like, I'm mimicking it in the video, but so people can't. But it was a necklace with the letter A on a slant, just like
Alexis.
Like Alexis in Schitt's Creek.
Aww.
And I said, like, I saw this, and I didn't think anything of it, because I knew that, that's just a necklace. And then I thought, that's really familiar. And then I realized where it was from, and then I got all excited and then told this woman that I also wanted a necklace like that, because my name also starts with A.
That'd be good.
Yeah. But
and then you and Anna could get matching ones.
Sure.
And that'd be so
Both
for
of our
cute.
names start with A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that also made me think of you in our previous episodes. That's all.
That's
So,
good.
anything else going on this week?
I don't know. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
All right. Well, study hard.
Okay.
Give it
Do
your
my
all.
best.
Keep
Okay.
your chin up
Thanks.
and say hi to all your friends.
I will.
I think in a future episode we're going to have a guest reviewer, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the hope. I think you just have to.
I just actually
Watch
have to
the
experience
thing.
the thing we're going to review.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will do that. Upcoming. There's a teaser.
Is it? Yeah. A little sneak preview.
Yeah, for both of our listeners. We've got plans. All right, Reed. It's good talking to you.
Good to talk to you too, Dad.
Okay, we'll talk to you again soon. Until then, keep your feelings inside.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.